Alright guys, back for the weekend. I thought I'd do a quick video. Been at the Rock Against Cancer concert all weekend, so I'm a bit tired. Been out till about 3 in the morning. Um, but it's been good. I think what's this? We've been going. I don't even know how many times we've been now. But I go pretty much annually. If you're in Spain and at the time, I do recommend going. It is a good couple of days. Although my ears were ringing yesterday, they're not too bad today. Um, but it's a lot of tribute cover bands. I think what's that? Probably about 8 over the weekend. But what's funny is I find if you there's a nice channel if you haven't seen it already. It's a guy called Daniel Boland. Um, I do recommend having a look at his channel. But he touched on something a few videos back about he was comparing. I think it was somewhere in London where he had the usual suspects smash down sort of the security gate and all come in by the hundred or 1,000, animals. Um, but here in Spain, he was touching on the fact they have a big fiesta. Everyone's standing in the street drinking. Everybody's just chilled out, talking, just enjoying it. The concert yesterday is a good example of that because my wife noticed it as well. Is when people actually went down, they took it, because they've got chairs stacked up as well. So people even took the chairs, went down, listened to the music, and they weren't only staying for a few hours. And they brought the chairs back and put the chairs back. And then you look around and there's like people are putting stuff in the bin. it's, and then you look around, you're thinking, hang on, I've just spent 2 days at a rock event. There was no trouble. And there was a biker gang that turned up as well. There was no trouble. Everyone was friendly. Everyone was chilled out. And then you look at younger events with the youth or that today. Sound like an old man now. About the violence and stuff that goes on. What's wrong with people? Because I've got to admit, on these events, I think the first night the guys were probably 60 plus. The majority of spectators, and then on Saturday night it was probably 40s upwards. Because the tribute bands on the first night were Bryan Adams, AC/DC. Who else did we have on there? Well, Foo Fighters, and I can't remember the other one was. And then last night was I can't remember the band's name. I don't know the band that well anyway, but it was more of a similar to Blink 182. I thought Guns N' Roses. We also have like a Green Day tribute and a Offspring tribute. But good couple of days. Everyone chilled out. Everyone just enjoying themselves. Um, and you're just sort of thinking, what's wrong with a lot of people? I mean, not being funny. This event's a rock event. There's even some people there in wheelchairs. Nobody's bothered. When I say not bothered, I'm not about, oh my god, there's somebody with a wheelchair. I mean the fact that nobody's being an idiot. Everyone's very civilized. Everyone's very respectful. Where did it all go wrong? Because I've got to admit, in Spain, I find things are like this generally. If I go to a big street event, there is no idiot drunk vomiting in the street unless it's a very rare occasion, which I've seen once. Um, People have drinks, people enjoy themselves, they eat, they enjoy the celebration, they enjoy the fiesta, the festival, whatever it is. That doesn't seem to be that much trouble. It's weird. But it's also why I live here. Because let's face it, it's one of those what you could have the same type of event in two different countries, and you would need a police presence at one. But yeah, it's good to be back in Spain. Only here for the weekend, but it's good to be back. Um, what else I want to bring up today? So I'm taking my former employer to a tribunal at the minute. I'll be. Funny, I was talking to a friend yesterday. Was it yesterday? No, it wasn't. It was actually last week. And he says, "Oh, you should do videos on how to do it, because it'll be a lot very useful for the people that are going through this sort of process in the future." And I thought, okay, but obviously because it's a live case, I won't be able to share anything till the case is over. So I'll be documenting stuff, and explaining my thoughts and my thought processes and why they do it this way and what this is and what, because it is fairly complex, but I'm sure I'm making their solicitors' lives a nightmare because I'm utilising law regulations, um, and different types of law, etc., and different codes of conduct and different legislation. But anyway, I'll leave it there. I don't want to talk about it too much. So that's ongoing, which does take my spare time up because I'm still producing a lot of organising the evidence for it. But the good thing is, I'm starting to understand how the legal system works. I'm starting to understand how to create a case, how to understand the legislation and processes behind it. So we'll see how we end up in the end. But on top of that, the new job's going well. Um, it's interesting. It's interesting. There's a lot more contracts going on, so all over the country, technically. I say technically because at the moment, every time I have to meet on site, people are like, "I'm on holiday this week." But I've got everywhere from Scotland to London, it's everywhere. Anglia as well, East Anglia as well, all over the place. But yeah, it seems good so far. Um, and another idea worth looking at is there's this thing called plug-in solar or balcony solar. Because I look at the solar installations, I do think some of them are overpriced. But this plug-in system is, if you imagine this is where the balcony solar comes in. What they do is they take like U-bolts, and they've got the brackets, and they're sort of bolts to the bracket, and it hangs solar panels off your balcony. And then you got the power inverter, which has regulators and stuff in there, and you just plug it in to the wall like a normal socket, and it uses the power of the solar panels inside your house. So the idea being, I've got a large balcony area because the house is in an L. The balcony goes round the outside, so I've got walls enough for 3 panel sets. So that'll be 2.4 kilowatts. Um, and the reason that's relevant is that under 800 watts, you don't need any licenses and anything else. So 3 separate systems. In theory, I shouldn't get any problems with it. But I think that'll take a major crunch out my electric bill, which would be nice. But if you have a look at the good ones with the regulators and everything, they work on an app, which means you can see the power usage, what the inputs, what the outputs are. So I'm going to buy one this month. It's nearly payday next week. That's the other thing is payday's a week earlier than the last place, so I gained a week this month. But then again, I've been working, so I haven't spent it. It's not something like, yeah, I got an extra week's wages or something because you are the difference. Because the last firm actually recovered as much as it could. I won't go into that in too much detail, but yeah. Anyway, guys, what you guys been up to? I do all the talking. If anybody's up for coming on for a live chat, I think we should organise one and just do one. And if you want to meet up when I'm here, because I'll tell you this, guys, sometimes it may seem that if you know me, I might seem quite rude that I don't always meet up with people. And it's not a case of I'm avoiding people. It's quite simply when I'm working, I'm in work mode. But at the same time, because of the way work goes like this, I'm not 100% where I am all the time. Because even though I'm maybe coming here, I may have to go back early because I've got some urgent meetings. So I don't really plan so I don't upset people. That's why I feel the people I've met up, it's sort of been that day or within a day or two, simply because I don't know where I am most of the time. And also when I'm home, I try to spend as much time with the family as well. So if I get invited for dinner or do, I may not do it because A, spend time with the family, but B, I'm tired. I'm tired. It's not laziness, by the way. It is. It's like now. Been running around all weekend. I've got a lot of work to do for work next week, and I've also got the tribunal stuff I'm dealing with, which is taking me up to between an extra 20, 40 hours a week in legal preparation and creating annexes and reviewing documentation, reviewing reports, building case files. So I'm quite busy. So don't take it personal. It isn't. It's, because I'd like to have more time to spend more time with people, but I do struggle. Time is a rare resource. Because, like I've just said there, when I come back next time, I'm gonna have some solar panels to fit, and I'm already sitting there thinking, I've got to fit the socket in the office for the outside so they can plug straight into it. So like that, I've already got 2 days' work in my spare time. But I want to do that because it'd be good to see how that works. And I'll do some calcs on what we pay per kilowatt, work out the outputs on the solar panels. I'm going to do this side first. I don't think it gets as much sun as that side. But I've got longer wall here. So I might be able to get 4 sets on there. That might be a bit overkill. But I mean, for 500 or 600 euros a time, I don't mind spending that. Because let's face it, all comes off the bill. Which means the shock surprises aren't there. And although it's not official in the UK, there has been allegedly reports that it works in the UK as well. I didn't say that though. But Germany, I think 30% of the countries bought them or something crazy. So they're obviously working. But anyway, guys, I'll leave that for now. Oh, and the farm, still looking at farms. Trying to find something right because I've seen a few duds already. I'm not rushing into it. I can spend the next 6-12 months looking for the right location. Also, I want to make sure that it's got good road access as well for everything else, but also means that we can travel up here from here within a couple of hours would be good. Want it with some sort of neighbours I can befriend so that they can keep an eye on the farm when we're away, but also they can help themselves to whatever's growing on the land when we're not there. I can see us having a fishing pond up there at some point, but I'll probably have to put some tree coverage and stuff in there to try and help with keeping the water temperature down. Now I'm thinking about the oxygenization of the water as well. It's all complicated. Anyway, guys, I'm going to cut this one short today because I actually feel sleepy. It's 15 minutes. That's like half of our normal videos. But anyway, guys, take it easy. Speak soon.